You're watching the VetTunes Podcast, the show that shines a spotlight on military and veteran artists. Stand by for transmission. All right, transmission indeed. We are transmitting to you from the bunker at Harmony Hill here in the beautiful Shelbyville, Tennessee. And our guest is United States Army veteran Aaron Justice, who is a fantastic contemporary Christian artist. And we look forward to introducing him to you all. That way you know where to find him. So welcome to Harmony Hill. Welcome to the VetTunes Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've had a great couple of days here. It's been awesome. So thank you.
Now we'll get to all the goodness that's transpired over the past couple of days. But first we want to learn about you.
Okay.
So with that, let's talk about your life and what led you to the service.
So growing up, I'm a preacher's kid. So I don't know if any preacher's kids out there, you know how that goes. As far as I know, I don't know too many people in my family that are veterans per se that I can think of. It's something that's always been in the back of my mind. You know, since I was younger, I've always loved, the military, watching different movies and things that, talked about or had to do with the military. It always really interested me. But yeah, I grew up in church, pretty normal childhood, nothing too crazy happened.
And where'd you grow up?
Well, we moved a few times. I mean, we lived in, Murfreesboro for when I was really little. I can't even remember much of anything. I was probably 2 or 3. Then we moved to, lived in Chattanooga for a little while. Once again, I was maybe 4 or 5, so moved around within a few years there. And then we moved into Morristown, Tennessee, which is where I spent most of my childhood, teenage years. Moved into Bean Station, so Granger County, which is right outside of Morristown. So, and then been in Granger County ever since, up until I joined the military and ended up being in Germany and then Fort Hood, Texas. So
nice.
Yeah.
So for the folks who may not be familiar with all of the smaller towns or counties of Tennessee, what's the biggest area near you?
Probably Knoxville. Okay. Knoxville's probably the biggest city near where I'm at now. And then the opposite direction, of course, you have like Johnson City, Bristol, and all that too. So we're right in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So growing up in Tennessee, what is it that made you sign up to go in the Army?
Like I said, it's always been something been in the back of my mind. I was 23 when I joined, so I was already married. I had a son. He was 3 at the time. So, and it finally came to me. I was like, I got to do something for my family. So it was basically a decision to better my life and better my family's life. And that's where it really all started. I went to the recruiter's office, talked to them one day, went back a few days later and was like, let's do this. Took the ASVAB, and my first choice was, I had combat engineer or military police. I was like, let's do combat engineer. And I got to thinking about it. And I was like, let's change it to military police. And that's where I ended up. Yeah.
So you got your choice.
Yeah.
And military police, the MOS school is where?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, or Fort Lost in the Woods, whichever you want to call it. That's what we always called it. Yeah. But spent 19 weeks and 1 day. So it's OSUT, one station unit training. So you do your basic and your AIT all in one stretch there. It was a great experience. I went in February of 2013, so it was cold.
Yeah.
I thought Tennessee had bipolar weather, but I think Missouri may have it beat by a long shot. I remember it was May, the first weekend of May. Went to bed on a Saturday night, and it was thunderstorming. And woke up the next morning, it was pouring down snow. So I was like, it definitely beats Tennessee weather. So, but yeah.
And then off to Fort Hood you go.
Yeah, off to Fort Hood. Well, actually, I went to Germany first. So I went Hohenfels, Germany. It's 529th MP Company. In Fort Leonard Wood, my training company was Alpha 701st. So I was with them. Germany, I was a 529th MP Company. Spent 3 years in Germany. I got there, and then my wife and son came over a few months later. So it was a couple months, and they came over.
So a company tour for you.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
So it was awesome. We had a great time. Got to see a lot of the world that I probably would have never got to experience had I not joined the military. So
no, that's the beauty of of joining the services. You never know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah.
There's that one kid every once in a while that ends up stationed like right in his backyard.
Yeah.
He's like, I joined to see the world, and here I am. But
I've heard a lot of those stories.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, it's nice to get Germany right off the bat.
I definitely was not expecting it. They told us to choose. I think it was maybe 2 overseas and 3 in-state, and then they kind of just go off of your list and what they have available. And I was like, oh, Germany, here we come. Crazy thing is my wife has never flown before. So here she is with a 3-year-old traveling to Germany by herself, never flown before. So I just want to thank her too, because she's always been a huge support, traveling with me, going wherever I went, and taking care of our son when I wasn't home. So she's a huge blessing, and love her dearly for everything she's done. So she's been great. Yeah.
It's great to have a whole family support network.
Oh, definitely.
I think it makes the service easier.
Absolutely.
When you've got somebody that supports you like that. I mean, my wife's a veteran, and
right.
she's deployed, I've deployed, and so kind of have that mutual understanding and mutual respect and
yes,
and that kind of thing. So
yeah, I don't think a lot of people don't realize the sacrifices that families, have to do as well. Not just the service member, but
for sure,
the families, what they have to go through. Being away from their loved ones for so long. And we always made it a huge, especially in Germany, with the single soldiers over there, they probably couldn't go home every holiday and see their family, their first duty station. They're, 18 years old, 18, 19. We always tried to make it a huge thing on holidays. We would want to make it a big dinner and involve the whole unit, the company I was with. So any single soldiers, we'd invite them over because we want them to feel like they have family there too. So that was always important to us. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
What cool things you get to do over in Germany outside of work?
Work was sometimes cool. Outside of work, like I said, we got to do some traveling. Didn't get to do as much as I'd like to. It's pretty hard to get time off, especially as an MP, because your shifts are totally different. I think our shifts were supposed to rotate each month with each platoon. We stayed on night shift for about as long as I can remember when I was there. So I think the whole time, except for maybe a month, I was on night shift. But we did get to travel. We went to Dachau, which was the first actual concentration camp where they, actually killed Jews and stuff. And that was a pretty cool experience. And being able to see that, and you could just feel the heaviness, like as soon as you walked in there. It was getting to see, they had the wall where they done the firing squad, and they took you into the gas chambers and showed you the bunks and stuff, and just the history that's in Germany.
That's just hard
pretty wild
to even fathom.
It is, and you can just, like I said, you can feel the weight of just how heavy it was there. Yeah. Even after all these years, it's still there. So, but I mean, Christmas markets. Germany's huge on their Christmas markets, so got to see a lot of those. Went to Prague, so that's pretty cool. There's a lot of big movies that were shot in Prague that were based out of, supposed to be in Italy, because they have a lot of the same, structures and, roadways and stuff for very similar and a lot cheaper to film there. So I learned a lot of history there. It's very cheap to travel in Europe. You can get a train pass for 30, 40 euro and add up to, I think, 5 people. You can travel all day on that anywhere. So went to Paris. So they dropped us off right at the Eiffel Tower, and then we dropped on one of those hop-on, hop-off buses and done that, spent the day there, and it's pretty neat. We had a really good time. Yeah. Like I said, we got to see a lot of things that I never would have had I not joined the military. So a lot of good experiences.
Great. Yeah. Now, what was your path to music? Is it something that started early on? Did you come about it a little bit later?
Definitely early on. So music has always been in my family. Of course, You met my Uncle Tony. He does. He's
Yeah.
a country music artist. Does a lot of trucking songs. Just my whole family in general. My dad, he can play piano and sing. My mom, she can sing. My sister. I mean, it's just goes back to like my great great grandfather, I think. So we've had music in our family for a long time. My first, I think, real introduction to getting into music was actually playing drums. So my dad taught me how to play drums at age 6. So just playing in church. So started out with that. When I was 13, I had a friend, Andrew, who I actually lead worship with now at the church I go to. He had an old guitar in his basement, and he's like, hey, you want to learn to play guitar? And that was my first experience with guitar. So he showed me maybe 5 or 6 chords, you know, your basic G, C, D, E minor, your basic chords.
Right.
Picked it up from there. My dad bought me a poster, just had the finger placements for different chords and stuff, and pretty much self-taught with guitar. So from there it went, started writing songs when I was maybe 15, kind of experimenting with that.
Yeah.
Wrote a handful. I think the moment that I realized that music is what God had called me to, I was 16. And my parents divorced when I was 16. So my dad, he was a police officer. So he worked for the city of Bean Station. So at night, he would have to pick up a lot of overtime shifts, you know, help pay bills, you know, mortgage, car payments. Ended up having to sell one of the vehicles just because we couldn't afford it. But I spent a lot of time at home by myself in my room. So a lot of depression. You know, a few months after they divorced, my grandfather passed away, very close to him. So it was just like bam, 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 just stuff happening. Like I said, I grew up in church, and I knew, you know, I knew right from wrong. I knew what I was supposed to do. But man, that depression hit me, and I had suicidal thoughts for a while. And I was like, man, I'm home by myself. No one would know until they came here. It'd be too late. But I picked up my guitar and just started playing a melody and wrote a song called All I Need. And it's basically just, you know, it talks about how no matter what I go through, how hard it may be, the feelings I'm feeling, you know, God's always there. And it was at that moment I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. If I can write a song about something I've been through and how God got me through it, and I can get it out there and somebody can relate to it, and it, you know, change their mind about making that decision, and it's worth it.
Nice.
So
You experienced lots of healing through music.
yeah, definitely therapeutic for sure. That's even to this day. Like that's what if I've had a bad day or a bad few days, like I'll get the paper out and sit down. I may not write a whole song out of it, but I can get my feelings down on paper and put some music to it. It's very therapeutic.
Oh yeah.
Even to this day.
Are you old school pen and paper, or are you kind of new school with the devices?
It's a mix.
A hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. If I'm at home, I like to get out and write it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just something about writing on a piece of paper, I think.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I get ideas when I'm driving down the road. So I'll get my phone out and hit the voice record, and I'll just kind of sing the couple of lines I get, and then I'll get home and kind of add to it. So,
Right.
So it's a hybrid, yeah. A little bit of mix of both, for sure.
I find myself a lot of times, if I purposely sat down to write, is the old pen and paper.
Yep.
There may be a couple little notes or lines or whatever that I'll pull out from the phone.
Yep.
More so from the notes versus like the voice recordings, but every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's just something about seeing it appear on paper and the whole, creation of it.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing with like reading. If I read, I like to have like a physical book. There's just something about turning a page. So I guess it's that kind of thing when it comes to writing. So yeah, absolutely.
Who are some of your influences?
Oh gosh, there's a lot. So I know I'm a contemporary Christian artist. I'm from Tennessee, so I listen to a lot of country music too. Music-wise, as far as guitar, man, Brad Paisley has always been a huge influence on me. My wife took me probably a month before I left for basic training. She took me to see Brad Paisley in Knoxville, Thompson Bone Arena, and man, I was like, dude, this guy. Just seeing him, just like it's nothing, man, just running around playing solos. I'm like, man, that's amazing. So he's always been a huge influence as far as guitar and his songwriting, like the way he tells stories. And that's what I like to do. I like my songs to tell a good story.
Yeah.
As far as Christian artists, Zach Williams, love that guy. Ben Fuller, we've been talking about him.
You turned me on to him yesterday.
He's great.
And we've been listening all morning, getting everything set up.
Yeah, he's awesome. Ann Wilson, I don't know if you ever heard Ann Wilson. She sings
I've heard of Ann Wilson from Heart.
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
Now, she sings a song called My Jesus. God, there's a bunch. We were talking about Mercy Me. So a lot of those contemporary artists, Jeremy Camp, he's got a great story. He had a wife who actually passed away of cancer. And, just like a lot of people, they use music to get through things like that. So that's what really influenced me, just artists like that, that I could connect with. And hopefully I can be an artist that other people can connect with too. And
Absolutely.
that people can relate with, and help get through those times. Because, man, I don't want anybody to ever feel that way.
I think my introduction to Christian music, I was just watching Leno. I just aged myself, but I was watching Leno, and Mercy Me came on, and they had this big band on stage, and I wasn't very familiar with any Christian artists. As a kid listening to metal, I knew that there was Stryper was out there,
Right?
And saw these guys, and I was just like, wow, and it didn't feel, like an overtly Christian song or that kind of thing. I was just blown away by the music and the vocals and the delivery and all that. And then I immediately went to iTunes, which was, it seemed like relatively new at the time. And I found these guys, and I took a handful of their songs when I went on deployment, and I was just like, that's when I heard the message.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
And I'm happy to stumble on them. And then kind of the same thing with Switchfoot. Yeah. And then just this past July 4th, got to be able to meet those guys, play a show with them. Man, I mean, live, they're unreal, and they were side stage when we were playing, and we got to hang out, and just super nice people,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
But there's, as I start listening to different programs like I'm trying to think of the name of them, on Sirius XM, there's a couple channels. There's like The Message.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, turn that on and just kind of listen. And I really appreciate the songwriting. I appreciate the stories, and then the message within. It just makes you feel good.
It does.
And
the message, that's what it's all about. With Christian music, it's all about the message and getting it out there, especially with hope. I mean, if you look at the world we live in now, people need hope more than ever. And that's my goal, is to lead people and tell them about Jesus, what he's done for me and how he's got me through so many things. And I wouldn't sing for any other reason. Like, God gave me the talent, he gave me the ability, and I'm going to give it, return it all back to him. So that's what I want to do. I want to show the world that there is hope, especially in a world that's so dark right now. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And you're leading music ministry.
Yep. So at the Bridge Church in Rogersville, Tennessee. So that's where I lead worship at. Me and my buddy, Andrew, which I told you, he gave me the guitar. So about 2 years ago now. Yeah, it's been about 2 years. He said, man, our drummer for the worship team is stepping out. Would you mind stepping in for a little bit until we can, find somebody? I said, yeah, I don't mind at all. Didn't expect to be there, but here we are now, almost 2 years later. Every now and then I'll play drums. Him will switch out, and I'll lead worship, and then he'll play drums. So it's been awesome. I love that church. That worship team's amazing. Got some great talent. And not only that, they have a great anointing, and they do it for the right reasons. They're not up there to make a show, and that's important. So
I went to a church down in Pensacola at a recent event, and great band.
Yeah.
I had run into the worship leader a few times before at some different songwriting events with veterans, and I mean, just a great sound, great production. Not too crazy over the top, but
Yeah,
and it just kind of kept it going through the service and really just added so much to it.
it does.
So, and I grew up Catholic and went to a couple went to Jesuit high school in Dallas and went to St. Pius High School in Atlanta, and that's a whole different kind of service.
Right.
Like you go to those services and there's music playing, and I mean, I think as a musician or somebody that just likes music, it just feels a lot lighter.
It does.
And it feels like you can kind of absorb things a little bit more than being very strict, very regimented, all right, now we sit, we kneel, we pray,
Yeah, a little more free flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It allows you to kind of relax and
and
take it in a little bit more. For me anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about the church we go to is, worship is an important part of the service, I believe. It's kind of the forefront, sets the mood for the entire thing, for the sermon and everything. So worship leads to freedom, I think, in a lot of ways. And if you can have the worst week, you come in on a Sunday morning and you forget all those worries and everything that's going outside because you're focused on worshiping God. Everything else just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it. Just
nice.
Being able to throw all that out.
Yeah. And music is the universal language, and
it is.
It affects everybody.
It does.
That's awesome. So from an artist standpoint, you've got the veteran aspect, you've got the music ministry aspect, but yourself as an artist, what do you got going on?
Oh, well, I have a new single that come out September. So it's been out for a few months now, called Love Like Jesus Does. And that song, it's not like any other song I've written, I think, because it speaks more to me, kind of like a reminder to myself that, hey, I need to do better with loving like Jesus does, because there's a lot of times people can be hard to love sometimes. They can rub you the wrong way. My biggest thing is probably traffic. That's when it's hard for me to love people. But man, it's just a great reminder to myself when I listen to it. It's like, you don't know what people are going through, what people are facing, what curveball life is thrown at somebody. And you just got to get out there and show that love of Jesus. That's what he done. He came to serve and love people. I love them where they're at and meet them where they're at. And so that's what that song's about. It's just like, hey, we got to do better. As Christians, we got to do better as far as loving people.
Now, how did that song come about? I mean, other than you writing it, like what brought it to fruition?
Honestly, I just sat down and started playing the little guitar intro to it. And the first line came out, there's a man on the corner of Main and First with a cardboard sign and a couple holes in his shirt. And it just kind of went from there to different scenarios that people may be facing. And that song just barely scratches the surface of what a lot of people go through. And I was like, man, I don't like to sound like I'm bragging. I was like, this is good because this isn't just going to be speaking to the audience. This is a lot for myself. So I feel like it's something that God really gave me to remind me, hey, Aaron, you need to start doing better and loving people like Jesus does, the way, because I didn't deserve, a lot of times I don't deserve the love that I get, but he loves me anyway. So, but yeah, that's how it came to be. I wrote that line. I'm like, man, so what's some other scenarios, single mom of 3, working extra time just to get food on the table. A married couple who's been trying to have a baby and just can't have a baby, tried for years and years. A man who's lost his wife that he's been married to for a long time. So now all he has is a photograph. And what he'd give just to hold her one more time. So just stuff like that. I just thought about different scenarios that people would go through and put it down there, and then came up with the chorus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Thank you. Appreciate
it. Your uncle, Tony Justice, he's an artist himself. Did you play it for him? I
did, actually. I think I put it on YouTube, just me in my room. That's what I do a lot. It's kind of how this whole thing started. I'm like, if I can't record it, like, I need to get these songs out there, let people hear them. So a lot of times I just sit in my room, play my guitar, and make the video of the song, post it on YouTube. But I think he heard it and he shared it on his social medias and stuff, and really liked it, and which he had talked about, man, for years. He's like, man, we need to get you in the studio. You're writing a lot of good stuff. He's like, every time we try to do it, something comes up, and then we just don't, the money's not adding up. And then he told me, he talked with Misty and was like, man, if we didn't take chances on a lot of things, we wouldn't be where we're at. So he took the chance on me. Seeing the potential, I guess, and really, gave me that opportunity to, that's where I met with Jeff Sylvie. Mm-hmm. So he produced the song, actually in Tommy Harden's studio. So Tommy Harden's a great drummer, drummed for Alabama, done a lot of stuff for them. And he still tracks. He's like a Nashville drummer now. So nice. Does a lot of tracks for people. I think he done some tracks on Zach Top's, one of his records.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But we tracked that in his studio and had some great musicians come in, and man, they just done a wonderful, and just hearing that song come to life from just me on an acoustic to everything. It's awesome. It was a great experience. I'd never recorded professionally before. Yeah. So just being able to see that whole song come to life was awesome. Yeah. It's so cool. Now it's in me now. Yeah. It's there. Yeah. I love it.
So, that's how we met, is our mutual friend and Jeff Sylvie. And Jeff Sylvie is a hit songwriter. He wrote for George Strait many, many years. He's got multiple cuts with him. The most recent one, 3 Drinks Behind, on George's new album, which is nominated for a Grammy.
Yep.
And Jeff, inspirational country music, contemporary Christian producer of the year multiple times.
Yep.
So, you're in great hands. And I got to meet Jeff at a Songwriting with Veterans event. Mm-hmm. It's an organization that I knew. This Major Lee Stuckey, he's a retired Marine officer. He runs an organization called A Hero, which is an acronym for American Heroes Enjoying Recreation Outdoors. So a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing trips, things like that. But then they also realized that there's a lot of healing and recovery that happens through music as well.
Yeah.
And they started Music for a Hero, and that's their songwriting program where they bring in folks like Jeff.
Yep.
Similar to a couple different songwriting programs that are out there. The inspiration came from Bob Regan at Operation Song, and Jeff had worked at Operation Song for a little bit. But I got to meet him and sit down and do some writes with some veterans, and I was just like, wow, this is a great thing.
Yeah.
This is it's good for my soul. You can see it. Everybody around there was healing through it just by sitting down with a warrior and learning their stories.
Yeah.
Right. So we had recently done one in Pensacola, and I knew of you from Jeff because I was working with an artist named Myra Washington, who's just a powerhouse singer. And we're producing her EP here at Harmony Hill, and she sang on Love Like Jesus Does. She grew up singing in the church.
Yeah.
And she just knew exactly what to do, So we sat in the control room right over there, and she just laid down some beautiful vocals, and we sent those down to Jeff, and he got them all mixed in, and was excited for the release. And then he's like, you ought to have Aaron on the podcast. And I was like, is he a veteran? He's like, oh yeah, he is. I'm like, well then yeah, he checks all the boxes, So this was kind of a long time coming, but then a project that kind of happened in between, and why you were here visiting us at Harmony Hill is Jeff and I were down in Pensacola, and we sat down with a career Marine, female Marine, long, history of great service, went through the Marine Corps as a single mom, and that's tough to do. And she had some trials and tribulations, and we sat down and kind of wrote this song called Strength of a Survivor. And when we got done with it, we realized that this is a special song, and we need to find the right person to deliver it. And we immediately thought of you. So we were able to make it happen, get you down here at Harmony Hill, cut that song that we did at the Music for a Hero songwriting event, and just kind of take it one step further. And it's kind of one of those, Phoenix Rising kind of song, is looking for and eventually finding that inspiration in your darkest despair.
Oh yeah.
But still having the awareness to recognize it and follow it.
Absolutely.
So to have you cut the vocals on it yesterday, and then we got a chance to shoot some stuff around Harmony Hill. But man, I'm just excited for people to hear it.
Oh, me too. That's a beautiful song.
It's, your voice is amazing on it.
Thank you.
We had a drummer last night, a longtime friend of mine, Stacy Lamont Sidnor. He had just come back from a show in Oakland, and I mean he's hard to pin down, but he came in and laid the drums on it and just absolutely crushed it. And he's done so many different kinds of music, but for him to kind of get lost in the song and really, lend his art to it was magical.
That's awesome.
The fact that we've got Jeff Sylvie not only as a writer but as the producer for the thing, and just some great musicians, friends of Jeff's, friends of mine. It's just exciting, and we're honored to have you be a part of it. And
I'm honored to be a part of it
and have it be your song.
Man, I don't think I've ever been as nervous to record something as recording somebody else's song, because that's their story. It's like, man, I don't want to mess this up. But I remember when Jeff, he actually texted me. He said, hey, so I'm down here with A Hero, doing the songwriting event. And he's like, we wrote a song with a vet. Wonder if maybe you want to cut vocals on it. He said, when I get home, I want to do a little mix with piano and stuff and send you lyrics. And I got to listen to it and reading the lyrics. I'm like, man, this is great. I was like, man, I need to figure out how I'm going to phrase everything. And because I really wanted people to feel the emotion of the song, not just to be somebody singing. Because that song, it's a great story song. And I feel like, phrasing is very important with songs like that. So people can feel that emotion, just starting out from darkness and then finding that light. So I was pretty nervous. I was like, man, I don't want to mess this up. So like 2 weeks straight, I put it in my car and sing to it on the way to work and then on the way back. So I worked on it for a while.
And then, since we don't get to see you a lot, we got cameras all up in your face, and it's like, sing, go now. No.
It was fun. I had a great time. Yeah. And man, thank you again for even considering me to sing that song. It's definitely an honor.
Of course.
Never thought that anybody would offer something like that to me. So it's definitely rewarding.
It's just everything happened for all the right reasons. Yeah.
And to keep it within, the whole veteran thing. That's amazing. It's amazing what you guys are doing, with A Hero and Harmony Hill. Like you said, music is an outlet.
Oh, for sure.
So, and to be able to have veterans who love music and love songwriting, to have something they can go to and people they can relate to and not get looked at, I think a lot of people, veterans that I never had a combat deployment. And you see a lot of these veterans, they struggle with, PTSD and all this anxiety and depression, and, coming back from this stuff. And I feel like a lot of them are misunderstood, and they feel like they don't have anybody who understands them. So to have that music, to have that outlet, what you guys do is great. And I think it will save a lot of lives. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Your current single, because the Strength of a Survivor is going to be coming out a little bit later.
Yep.
But your current single, Love Like Jesus Does, getting a great reaction. Getting lots of views on the video, getting in some charts, getting a little bit of radio play here and there. That's awesome.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And to see how God brings people into your life and starts opening doors. I love music, been doing it for a while, and a lot of times it's discouraging because it feels like nothing's happening. When's this going to happen? And we always want it on our time, we think our time is the best, but God knows when to open the doors and when to make things happen in the right time so they work out like they're supposed to. So.
And as you're trying to find the right time or make the right time nowadays, now you have AI artists charting.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the thing that will never have is the soul.
Yeah.
Is the human touching instruments, making sound, making putting the vocals out there, just singing it from the soul, from the soul, a song written from the soul, music that comes from the soul. That's what it'll lack. So, we had a lot of cameras out the other day just so we can show people that, we're really doing this here.
Exactly. And that's what I was talking with Tony about last night. I'm like, this AI thing, they may have some catchy stuff, but like you said, it lacks that soul and that heart in a song. It's a computer writing all your stuff. You put a couple ideas in there and it writes a song for you. But like you said, it's not getting that soul and that heart, that true meaning of a song. It's not capturing that. So
when we bring artists to Shelbyville, down to Harmony Hill, we're just outside of Nashville, about an hour outside, we ask them to perform a song or two. So what song are you going to do for us today?
I think I'm going to do Love Like Jesus Does.
Yeah.
Just do that one and go with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what we do here is we just go ahead and, kind of break the set down and reset up, and then I'll get out of the way, and then we can focus on, your song, your voice, your message.
Sounds good.
I'm excited for people to hear it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. And then we're going to take a pause and we're going to reset. I do want to say my condolences to the Del Fabro family. We lost a good one today in Vince Del Fabro. Vince ran sound for the Mike Corrado band back in the day, a band called The Drive. He also ran sound at a venue called The Attic in Greenville, North Carolina, and he was the house sound guy there for a long time. Back around 98, he developed a brain tumor, and at that point, the things he was going through, he had 5 years life expectancy, and he lived 21 years more than that. So he's where it was tough at the end, but he is at peace now. And we'll miss you, Vince, and thank you for everything you've done for us and for music. And we're going to go ahead and transition now, and we'll get you all set up and hear a tune. So, Aaron Justice, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
It's been a dark and rugged trail I've been walking. Sometimes I wonder how I made it through those nights. Been to hell and back, but still I kept searching. And finally found the source behind the light. I felt my life didn't have too much to offer. It took coming to the end of myself, exhausted from questions with no answers. I traded in my pride for something else. Oh, there's power in faith. It can calm the 7 seas and wash your fears away. Unfailing love and endless grace helps you get up as many times as it takes. Oh, these scars on my heart made me wiser. They gave me strength of a survivor. I was running from only one who could save me. Barely holding on through all the pain. He took the weight of the world off my shoulders. What he's done for me, for you, he'll do the same. Oh, there's power in faith. It can calm the seven seas and wash your fears away. Unfailing love and endless grace helps you get up as many times as it takes. Oh, these scars on my heart made me wiser. They gave me strength, strength of a survivor. Strength of a survivor. Unfailing love and endless grace helps you get up as many times as it takes. Oh, these scars on my heart made me wiser. They gave me strength, strength of a survivor.